Okay guys, we're going to talk about the lane recognition now. This is the meat and potatoes of what we do. It's our run fits, our pass fits, and our defense, and what we think makes our defense unique, as well as very potent. Again, this is a reoccurring theme that you see here, but play fast, play physical, play free. It's what we want our kids to do. So again, talk about our lane reads and understand. We talked about it briefly earlier, but with our lane reads, it allows us for our kids to be able to see the plays broken down into 4 different lanes. Every offensive play ever created, and since the beginning of time, can be broken down into 4 lanes. All right, and we teach our players to play fast by simply what an offense can do. This will help the players to understand where they run, fit, and pass fit. Where they run, fit, and pass fit. This is primarily for the back 8, and actually, it's really for our inside linebackers, outside linebackers, and our safety. Our corners are more concerned with run-pass reads. There's secondary support on the run anyway, so it's really it's our linebackers and our stealth. Okay, we talked about this again. Now I'm going to get into depth about what this all means. Lane recognition. Understand that 0, 1, 2, and 3 basically have no significance as to the play being a run, pass, or anything else. It's just kind of the way that we have, we've created it. So our 0 lane is a straight drop back pass. All right. And for us, that's going to be, our linebackers are going to recognize drop back, and then they work from there as far as route recognition, and walling off, and working, because we're a cover 3 team, and we're a zone team regardless, and that's what the concepts are going to be working on. Our outside run, again, the kids they're going to read outside run by the path of the ball, and by the offensive front. We call that a perimeter run, but a 1 lane truly could be a quick screen on the outside. It could be a quick pitch. It could be a stretch. It could be jet sweep. It could be jet option. It could be a number of plays. Most of that is irrelevant to the fact that it's an outside hitting play that our kids are going to have to, what we would call, build the wall. Outside linebackers are going to have to set the edge, and then we all run fit inside there. 2 lane is an inside run. That's again a million different plays, but it's something that we call anything between the tackle run. So it could be an inside zone play, it could be a trap play, it could be a counter play, it could be an option play, and basically it could be a play, it could be an ISO play, it could be a play that is then bounced and out to an outside run, which we see quite often because we roll arm traps and try to force everything outside to our outside backers. And then 3 lane is out of pocket pass. That could be a bootleg, it could be a sprint out pass, anything such as that. This is just a simple drawing. You'll see basically, again, this is just more for reference than anything else. 0 lane pocket pass, quarterback drops straight back, so it could be 3-step, could be 5-step. Could be 1 step, and remains in the pocket. We're going to yell pass, 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 like I'm sure most of you will do. At that point, now I'm going to get into how we will defend that. So once we see the quarterback has dropped back, okay, and then we get a hi-hat from the offensive lineman, and that's really how we're going to read it. Is we're going to get a hi-hat from the offensive line. At that point, our defensive linemen, again, everything they do is based off of block recognition. They get hi-hat. They instantly go into their pass rush mode. All right? Our nose is going to be, we really want him to work up the field. We don't want him to pick a side because that'll allow too big of a lane, especially when we have just a 3-man pressure. All right? But he can adjust accordingly if we have a 4th-man pressure, or he may be shooting a gap play. Just in our base defense, this is kind of what we'll do. These guys are going to be contained rushers. If you can't get to the quarterback, then you get your hands up and try to negate passing lanes in the 3-step and the 1-step. You'll see this yellow area here, this highlighted area. It's kind of a no-fly zone, or a no-cover zone. Basically anything inside, anything inside of 5 yards in the box is something that we really don't cover at all. So, and really, that could really extend sideline to sideline. That's kind of a no-fly zone for us. We're not going to jump on anything under 5 yards because, again, when you're getting that crosser coming underneath, they want your linebacker to jump it so they can throw the dig behind to the next level of crosser behind. So once we go into pass mode, again, we read high hat. Our linebackers are going to snap their eyes to their reads. So our stack linebackers are 2-to-1 reads. All right, so what is 2 doing? If 2 is going to go inside this no-fly zone, we're just going to drop and turn our eyes to 1 and yell, cross, cross, cross. All right, if he goes vertical, we are going to wall him off and reroute him in very violent physical fashion. All right, we want to beat up number 2 receiver. If he runs an arrow or he goes away, then we're looking for a new number 2. So the route is ever changing. So as this guy is going to run his route, this guy can become a new number 2. And by looking at that, and having this linebacker key in this number 2 receiver, whoever it might be, this guy is working out. Then typically this receiver is going to work back in. He will become the new number 2 at that point in time. And it's good to break down and pause the film as you're watching the film and show the kids how the routes are changing. So now his responsibility from working out to this guy, all right, has now changed to working and getting underneath them. We need to get him underneath the number 2 receiver. Well, now this is the new number 2 as they're working out and whatever they end up doing, whatever kind of concept that they're in, for that matter. All right? So that's what our inside linebackers are going to do. All right? In a simple way. So they're going to wall off. They're going to read 2-to-1, and they're always looking for the new number 2. And another way of kind of looking at it too, is you get this guy driving vertically, and he runs a curl and, whatever the number 2 receiver, so you get curl wheel. We get that a lot because we're cover 3. Our strong side linebacker is going to read 2 running with width. He's going to scream out and find 1 because he knows 1 is going to more likely become the new number 2. He's got to get underneath it. All right? And what we want him to do is be able to be in the path of the football when he drops. That's with any of our linebackers. We want him to be in the path of the football. Okay? So we want them to be in the passing lane. And the passing lane basically is the imaginary line from wherever the quarterback is to where his intended receiver is. So we need to be able to be inside of that. We need to be able to be inside of that line and make that quarterback throw over the top of us or be in that position to intercept the pass. We don't need to defend this receiver on his hip. We can be in front of him. Now, obviously, he's going to move and continue to adjust his route, and we will do that, but we want to work to get underneath that guy, take that route away from him, okay? So that's what our inside linebackers are going to do when they get that read, okay? Our outside linebackers are going to read 1 to 2. In this situation, they're worried about 1. If we had a slot receiver out here, okay? If we had a slot receiver right here, he would be lined up 2 by 7 off of that guy. All right. Now he would be more concerned about. He'd be more concerned about number 2 in this thing. So if we have a slot receiver there, he's going to be a little bit more concerned about that guy. All right. Let me get one rid of these guys real quick. All right. So our outside linebacker right now is going to look at in a slot situation. He's going to look at the number 2 guy, and from that read, and again, what do we have to defend against in a drop back pass? The most dangerous thing that can happen to us as a cover 3 football team is that these guys are going to run 4 up against us, okay? And we're going to get into more detail as we go. That's why we'll check to what we would call cover Z. That forces our outside linebackers to jam that slot receiver and not allow him to run vertical. All right? And they'll communicate between, because his responsibility, all right? His responsibility is to work out to number 2. All right? This guy's going vertical. He's going to stop him in his tracks. He's going to jam him and then work back out to number 1. when we read that, but we have to defend against that 4 up, and the way we do that is with this outside linebacker staying here and jamming this guy and stopping that vertical seam, because that's dangerous. Okay, we have a corner over the top of this. We take away their 2 most deadliest routes and force them to throw 4 up to their number 1 receiver. We're in good shape. So this is day 1 stuff for our kids to understand when we get in that kind of scenario, what they're going to do. All right, but if we just go back to the basic look as to where our linebacker is at, then he's going to work out to number 1 here. He doesn't have to worry about the tight end in this scenario, okay, because the tight end is in tight. The only time he has to worry about the tight end is if he's going to arrow out, this guy runs vertical, then he's going to check back off of that, okay? But right now, he is going to be all over 1 and working out to, he's going to be working out to 1, all right? So now he's taking a look at 1. He wants to work out. We got 1 running a quick hitch here, and we're going to be flying underneath it and trying to collision on the ball as it arrives, okay? So this makes it a little bit easier for her, or for him, for that segment there. Okay. So again, they're going to read hi-hat. All right, they're going to read hi-hat out of these offensive linemen, and then they're going to be able to go. They're going to be able to go and drop to their respective receivers. Okay. So again, we got our inside linebackers working to wall off any crossers. All right. You know, any crossers coming from the outside in. If we get a crosser out of the tight end, we're going to just drop and keep working to number 1, getting our depth, okay? And again, the whole time our head's on a swivel from quarterback to receiver and adjusting, you know, to the routes that we're going to see. The outside linebacker, okay? Outside linebacker is going to fly underneath 1 here. In this situation, we got 1 receiver, so we can be extremely physical, all right? So if we got this receiver trying to run a slant route, our outside linebacker is going to try to disrupt that route, okay, as he's working back in. So we're all trying to wall off everything coming in from the outside. That's what he's going to work to, okay? If we get a situation where we get this guy driving vertically and then he comes back, okay, then it's going to be important. It's going to be important for our outside linebacker to read vertical and then to drop and get underneath that comeback. And again, we want to get in the passing lane, you know, and again, the passing lane is just that imaginary line between the quarterback and that receiver. We have to be somewhere in that passing line, in that passing lane, to be in the best position for our defense, okay? So that's it in a simple form where we're going to drop to, all right? Now we talk a little bit about, we're going to talk a little bit about this safety and these corners, what they're going to have to do. And again, real quickly, we want to reroute and carry to 15 yards. What I mean by that are these inside linebackers. These inside linebackers are going to carry vertical routes and reroute. So we want to try to disrupt the receiver's route, and we're going to sink, but no deeper than 15. Just like a dog that's on a leash, we're going to have to stop. We don't want to turn and run. Okay, but we want to be physical enough with them that we sink to 15 yards, keep our eyes back on the quarterback while we're rerouting that receiver. Okay, and then we got, like it says right there, at 15 yards, we need to be able to check off. I mean, at that point, there's something that's going to happen. The other thing that we have to be aware of too is that when if we have a pressure, which a lot of times we're going to have a 4-man pressure. And let's just say that, you know, we're blitzing this guy into here. Well, we're going to have to replace his zone. So we got a zone replace. So the mallet would be the next player over. So he's going to assume responsibility for our sword. All right. And in this picture right here, where we're in a pro set and with a tight end flanker, it's not that complicated because mallet can work over to that guy. Okay. So again, as we talk about, you know, the tight end running out and this guy curling up, our mallet is going to have to get all the way across and get underneath that. He doesn't have to be at the same depth as the curl. He's just got to be in a position where he's getting between the quarterback and that curl route to defend that. And that's probably one of the toughest things for him to do when we zone replace. But that's all we're doing when we're blitzing, is we're going to zone replace that. You know, so again, we've got a pressure by this guy, he's going to have to replace that. Now let's say that we have a second receiver, we have a slot receiver out here. Now we already know when we read hi-hat, this guy's going, we got pass, I've got to replace him. But I've got help from that outside backer with that slot receiver. So the most dangerous thing that can happen is this slot receiver can just run vertical on us, quarterback hit him, our free safety's not going to be able to make a play on it. But that's why when we had checked Z coverage, okay, we're going to check a Z coverage, all right? So when we check Z, that means our outside backer is going to communicate back inside with the inside backers and let them know, hey, Z's basically telling them, I'm going to stay on this guy if he runs vertical.